I'm Ella Griffin, Autistic Nottingham's Head of PR, and with me I have Sam Harvey.
Hi, my name's Sam Harvey, and I'm standing for the Green Party MP candidate for Nottingham North Kimberley.
Thank you, Sam. And I'm going to be asking Sam a few questions. These are the same questions I'm going to ask every prospective MP for the Nottingham area, if they obviously respond to our email asking them to do this interview. So I'm going to start asking Sam the questions now. Now, my first question is, what forms of support do you think autistics in Nottingham need?
So for me, I think in terms of support, I think accessibility is a key issue for me. I think what I'm looking to do, I'm running on a platform of increasing community support across all areas of Nottingham. So whether or not that's increasing the number of community spaces we have available, local support, that kind of thing. So my key aim would be ensuring that all of these community centres that are available are accessible. All staff are trained in EDI up to date to support all members of the community.
Right. And my next question is, where would you allocate funds to improve life for autistics in Nottingham?
So for me, what I want to do in terms of funding is, I think a really important thing is that we're getting consistent feedback from the community. So what I'm looking to set up are essentially community focus groups. So I want to be hearing back directly from the community on the issues that affect them. So whether or not that is funding used for that or funding used or voluntary at first, because I want to be able to A, be held accountable, and B, make sure that I'm hearing directly from the community. Secondly, I think I want to introduce essentially a grants and funding pool across Nottingham for a range of different organisations to access. So whether or not that is for autistic charities to access or other, again, support services. But yeah, I want to build that first in Nottingham North, but I also want to work potentially collaboratively with other Nottingham MPs to see about having a fund that's accessible across all of Nottingham to ensure that we're getting as wide a coverage as possible.
And what do you think of this government's current plans in terms of benefits and increasing the number of adults working?
I think it's incredibly wrong. I think from what I've seen, I think the current policies the government have in place are incredibly punitive. I think they are dehumanising and demoralising towards autistic and neurodiverse and people in general. And I think it is something that I would definitely look to challenge if in Parliament.
Right. My next question. What would you do to support autistics in getting and continuing in employment?
So again, for me, I think accessibility is key. I want to make sure that all services in Nottingham have up-to-date policies when it comes to employment, and I want to make sure that staff are following those effectively. In order to, again, I think hearing directly from the community on what ways would best support them would be most effective. So again, factoring in this community sounding board to hear again directly from people who it will most affect.
And finally, how would you improve mental health services for autistics?
Again, I think funding is key. I think over the past year, we've seen, over the past couple of years, in fact, I think we've seen a massive drop in funding for mental health support. I think across all levels of healthcare as well, I think we've seen a massive drop. So I think most importantly is funding. So I would look to campaign for more localised funding for mental health services and more support for the NHS in general.